Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the first episode of a project myself and Law are now doing a new podcast called Married with Cards. The reason I have this little bit at the front here, just to let you know, when we recorded this first episode, there was a little bit of an issue with the microphones. I believe we have that all sorted now, so all future episodes are going to be fine going forward. There's a little bit of an interference on this one, but hopefully it is not going to affect your enjoyment of it too much. You should still be able to hear everything okay. Just a little bit of a off sounding, so we are aware of it and we have fixed it going forward. But anyway, let's get into this first episode and hopefully you enjoy. Welcome to Married with Cards with Dan and Law Norton. Hello everyone, welcome to our new podcast, our new project, which I've been talking about for a few weeks now. This is Married with Cards. It's going to be starting off a fortnightly video, potentially going up to weekly, depending on how much people like it and how much we have to say. Don't know why Law's shaking her head there.
I don't know that I'm going to have something to say every week.
All right, well, it's going to depend on what the people want and what the channel wants. So, for people who haven't been to the channel before, hello, I am Dan. This is Law. We are both big Pokemon card collectors and collectors of other TCGs, and we're married with cards.
Get it?
Instead of children, because cards are expensive now, and so are children, but we'd rather have the cards. So what it's going to be, we're just going to talk about stuff that's going on in our own personal collections and reacting to, news and whatever's been happening in TCGs. This will mainly be Pokemon focused because that is our main collection, but we'll touch on other stuff. We'll touch on some other news. So since this is the first episode, we'll do kind of a bit of a background history on us. So Laura, why don't you start? Tell the people when you got into trading cards, when you got into Pokemon, that kind of thing.
I'll start with Pokemon because that's much easier, I think. So I started kind of into the Pokemon franchise in, I want to say, like kindergarten, first grade, back when it was first starting to come out in the U.S., and kind of the big Pokemania of the late 90s. And very quickly got into collecting the cards, playing the video game, collecting kind of all things Pokemon. And like pretty quickly got the gotta catch 'em all bug. So I've been kind of on and off collecting since then. I have, I think, still quite a few of the cards from back when I first started collecting. I never really got rid of cards and had to pick back up. But yeah, I mean, it's basically been on and off since the 90s. Big break, once after Gen 2 came out, kind of pre-Gen 3, kind of played a lot more of the video game, a lot less of the card games. And then by the time Gen 3 came around, I had a bit of a break until about Gen 5.
Nice. So I started with Pokemon, I was into it as a kid, as everyone our age was, but I pretty much stopped when Gen 2 started. I took a bit of a break, and then my brother got rid of all of the cards that we had. So I got back into it when a friend at school lent me Pearl for the DS, because he had completed the main story mode and he didn't really care about grinding all of the Pokemon. So I ended up grinding and evolving and trying to catch stuff for him, help him fill out his Pokedex. And that's when I really got back into looking at the cards, because I'd always kind of been interested in trading cards. I was already back collecting Doctor Who Battles in Time at that point. After I got my first job, that was one of the big things I started spending a bit of money on. Was those cards were out in stores at the time, and they were a lot cheaper than even Pokemon packs at the time were. Sure. I think they were about £1.50 a pack or something. So I was buying a few of those when I got my paycheck from my first job, and I started collecting those, and then it's what got me back into Pokemon, is liking that DS game again and wanting to look at what had happened with Pokemon cards since I stopped caring about them in about 2000. And then since then, I've never really stopped with Pokemon. I've been with Pokemon at some level since then, but also other TCGs. You know, Doctor Who has still been an on and off thing. The Lord of the Rings TCG I've looked at. We've got a decent amount of that now. That comes and goes just whenever I'm deciding to jump into it. Magic the Gathering was a big one where I was playing for quite a few years. I think it's about 2014. Maybe I started. No, it must have been before that because I moved over here like 2016. I think I've been playing for a while. It was maybe about 2012 or something. I started playing Magic quite a lot. And it was about a 4 or 5 year period, I think, even before I moved over. Even before I moved over, I was traveling a lot to play Magic. And then after I moved over, I started doing regionals and SCG stuff over here. It was only really when the pandemic hit that I took a break from Magic and then never really went back to it just because once you are forced to take a break from that kind of thing, you realize like how crazy it is that you're doing, 18 hours of driving every weekend or something to go to events that have basically zero cash payout. And when collecting is so much more expensive now, for Pokemon is so much more expensive to collect. There's less money to go towards Magic and maintaining Magic sets and stuff and keeping decks going. So that's kind of where I've come from. That's how I'm into TCGs. So we met at Pokemon Worlds in 2014.
Sort of. I mean, we chatted online before meeting in person.
Sure. But then we chatted online a bit, then there was like a year gap, and then we actually met in person in 2014. I moved over here 2016, just before Worlds, and then I've been here ever since. So that's our history of how we met. And I will say for collecting, for Pokemon, we're both very much completionists where possible.
Yes.
We aren't the kind of people who we're not saying, we just want our favorite Pokemon or whatever. We're collecting sets. We're trying to get every variant or whatever. And then, for me, that's gone over into other card games too. You are not so much that in other card games, I guess. Like with Magic, you have a collection of dragons and stuff because you like dragons. I guess with Magic, I didn't really do full completionist. I tried to do, 4 of every card, but the cheapest version. So I was going for just the regular non-foil cards because that's
things that you could play with.
Yeah, because 4 copies is how many you can play in a deck. So I was keeping 4 copies of every common, uncommon, rare, mythic where I could, but I wasn't chasing foils. I wasn't chasing special art prints or anything like that. And in fact, when I got to the point where I was opening cases and stuff to build my sets, I was actively selling off those to fill in any gaps I was missing in actual play sets. But then other games, I'm very much the completionist. So the Doctor Who and the Lord of the Rings and all the other card games, I'm very much trying to complete them. That's the end goal, at least.
Where I have, I really like foxes. They're my favorite animal. So I feel like I have a fox from probably 10 to 20 different card games that I don't have any other cards from.
And you have 200 Arctic Foxes from Magic because you just like that.
They're just cute.
I guess the big difference between the way we collect is I prioritize condition very heavily. You prioritize getting a copy of the card, first of all. I guess for me, it only differs when it's an incredibly rare card, where it's like, this card pops up once every 3 or 4 years. I will grab whatever condition I can get, then put it in the binder with the expectation of upgrading it later. But when it comes to stuff like anything from a booster pack, really, or any blister promos, anything that was pretty widespread release, even if the near mint or the mint ones don't show up very often, I would rather wait it out and get that better condition one rather than get those and upgrade them later. Whereas you are very much the other way, especially for the older sets, just grabbing as much as you can to fill in the binders and then looking at them later. It's like older reverse hollows, especially like Diamond and Pearl era. I'm missing a ton because they scratch super easy. So I'm waiting and I'm just picking up the really nice ones when I see them, whereas you've got a lot of them, or a lot of sets finished from around then, at least, because you're just making sure you get something.
Yeah, so even though they're scratched up, they're in the binder, they're complete. Yeah. I've definitely got a couple of cards, but I've gotten a little bit more hesitant about putting cards with creases, or there's, I think, a card from a Pop series that I can't think of which card it is, but the back of it is just basically gone.
Right.
Like condition has definitely become more important to me, but was certainly not something in the past that even crossed my mind. Just get the card into the binder and have it in the collection.
And I suppose from, I think it was like late black and white, early XY era, most of your sets, and then my sets as well, were built by opening product.
Yeah.
Because you were getting a lot of product from working events then, so all of your stuff was coming fresh out the pack anyway.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have made sense to have, 99% of the set be mint pack fresh, and then the 1 or 2 remaining secrets that you didn't pull suddenly getting played ones.
Yeah.
You'd want to wait and get the
There's some of that going back as far as HGSS as well, but that was also when I was playing a lot.
So some of the playable
So some of the playable cards definitely did see play, and I think I prioritized that over. Even if it was in my deck, it was still part of the collection. I never really differentiated, like, this is my card, it's part of the collection, but it's also in my deck now.
Sure. Well, as we keep doing this podcast and episodes go on, we'll talk more about our our own collections and stuff. And we said, I think if we keep doing this, people enjoy it, we'll do something every episode. We look at a set or an era, and we'll go through what we both personally own from that set. I mean, early on, it's going to be very much, here's what Laura owns, because I have a decent amount of stuff for base set, but then the other WotC era stuff, I don't have a ton of, really. So it's really Diamond and Pearl era. I guess late EX is where my collection like really ramps up, because when I came back to collecting, let's say when I got my first job, it was just after it was between Great Encounters and Majestic Dawn when that was out. But the Toys R Us that was like attached to the mall I worked in, it was across the road from the mall I worked in, they were often stocking packs as far back as about Unseen Forces.
Sure.
Which I guess that was probably still standard format at that point, because Great Encounters was only like 4 sets into Diamond and Pearl. So that's where I was buying a lot of packs from everything up to that point. So we will, like I say, talk through sets in a bit more detail in future episodes. So we are going to try and have regular sections on this podcast. So this one, we're going to talk about collection editions, what we've added to our collection since the last episode. Now, because there's no previous episode, I'll talk about a bit about what we've been doing recently. Been opening a lot of Destined Rivals. I say a lot, we've been opening some Destined Rivals.
A small amount, yeah.
Yeah, I still actually have a lot of blister packs and stuff to open, so I've been working on building those sets for us, and it's at that really irritating point where we're both done with all the hollows and stuff, but we're both missing commons, because since they switched the common to uncommon ratio in packs, commons are a lot harder to get 1-for-1 than uncommons or hollows. People don't know, starting with Scarlet Violet era, they switched from 5, it used to be 5 commons, 3 uncommons, 1 reverse, 1 rare or better. And then it changed to, when they put the second reverse in, 4 commons, 3 uncommons. But they didn't make less commons per set to account for that ratio. So now, card for card, uncommons are a lot more common than commons.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I think we're at a decent point in here. Maybe when we're talking about sets, we'll maybe like do the either end meet in the middle thing. So we'll talk about the early stuff and the recent stuff, and then just dovetail into the middle. But that's a big thing I've been doing, is just opening that. Probably by the next episode, I'll have sets binded up and I can give a bit more of an actual breakdown. But you got us some nice cards this weekend. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I was able to go to the Professor Conference this past weekend, which was in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was a very, very cool venue, a very cool event, and I got to see some awesome presentations from some people near and dear to me. So it was a really great experience, and with the added bonus of getting some cool cards.
Well, first, before we talk about the cards, tell people a bit about what a Professor Conference actually is, because
Sure.
people might not know.
So the Professor Conference in this format is one day of kind of presentations by different professors in the community talking about different topics. And if you are a professor, they were recorded, so you can go check out the recordings of them on Professor University. But it's basically, here's a topic for an hour, here's a topic for an hour with different people addressing different things. A couple of, one of them was about mentorship, which is something that I'm really wanting to focus on this year. So a lot of really good topics, a lot of really interesting stuff. And then the second day is a Professor Cup, which is a format where only professors who meet certain criteria are allowed to play in it.
So to check on that, the conference was any level of professor allowed to go?
Yes.
But then you had to meet more requirements to play in the Cup?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the Cup, I believe you had to be a stage 1, have attended the previous day, or there's a third one, and you had to meet 2 of the 3 requirements.
Okay.
But as I'm a stage 2, and I was there the previous day, and I probably met the other requirement,
Yeah.
we were all good there. And the cups are, there's a trading card game event, a video game event, and a Go event. So you can choose which game you want to play in, and each game has its own special rules for the tournament. So for the trading card game, this was a little confusing. It was if I play a supporter or an item card, my opponent also plays that supporter or item card.
They get the effect of it.
Right. Yeah. And I did not do well at all. I went 0-5, but that's fine. I did win a raffle, so that's cool.
You got the card for entering too.
I got the card for entering.
Yeah, Professor Cups back in the day used to be basically any level. At least I've never been a professor, but I know people who played in them. It was any level of professor could enter, but it was like prizing to top 8, and there weren't exclusive cards for it. It was exclusive like backpacks and
Yeah.
I think like DSs and stuff. Not like Professor DSs, but some of them you could win like
Maybe.
I think some of the bigger ones, maybe the ones like at Worlds or something, you could potentially win like a DSI.
I know the bags were always a big one.
Yeah,
they've had
the backpacks were
the OGO or whatever the brand is, backpacks, and
yeah, they had some good backpack stuff back in the day, but now it's cards, and the current one is Community Center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice double foil, reverse and Cosmos foil with the Professor logo on it, and there are different versions. So there's the regular player one, then there's staff, top 8, top 4, champion. There's no finalist, which is very weird.
Interesting.
They only just added top 4 for this one, though. The last couple of years, they've only had top 8 and champion, which, to me, that makes more sense.
Sure.
Just top 8 and champion, because that's where top cut is, than having top 4 but not a finalist. So
it may be because the way that they do top cut is a little different, and I don't know. I didn't stick around for the top cut.
Yeah.
I went and got lunch. But the way that they were doing it, I know that there was a top cut in the trading card game, for example,
sure,
that fed into a top cut combined. And I don't know what top 8 was. I think that there was a Kahoot game or some sort of trivia game involved.
Sure.
Top 4 was building a mega construct within 40 minutes.
Okay.
So
potentially it was just 4 people building the mega construct, and then there was one winner, rather than it being 2 people won that and then went to a finals.
No, there was a final after
then
that.
the card is... there should be a finalist card.
I mean, like maybe... top 8 went to the top 8 of the TCG, and top 4 went to just the top 4 of the combined. I don't know.
Potentially, yeah.
Like I said, I didn't stick around to look into it, but I did get the Player Community Center, which is a very cool card.
And which we can put up for sale, because last time there was a Professor Cup, you got one, and then because we didn't know if you'd be doing another Professor Cup, we bought one from one of our friends who also played in it. So we already both had our player community centers, so we now have a third one.
Yeah, so I guess...
I'll put that up for sale on Instagram or something. The Professor Cup cards are some of the only cards where I'm okay not hunting down the staff versions. Because for most cards, when it's like a tournament card, I want the player version and the staff version. You know, like Worlds, I try and do that. The ICs, I do that. I know that top cuts and like top 8 champions, that kind of thing from the ICs, if I end up with one of those from a sale or a trade or something, great, but that's not on my I need to chase this down kind of thing. I always just try and chase down the player and the staff, but the Professor Cup ones, the staffs are so much rarer and so much more expensive, especially the first year, the Friends and Galar one, that I'm okay. It's that and then the Ultra Balls from Asia. I'm okay not tracking down the staff ones and just having the player ones. All right, so what other cards did you get?
So I also won a raffle where I got both a hat and I got to pull a promo card out of a box and was fortunate enough to get the English version of the blue shirt Judge from
Fusion Strike.
Fusion Strike, there we go. Which is probably my favorite, like, art of Judge. Just like a very dynamic.
Well, it's not going in a deck.
Yeah, I know.
So it was a sealed pack of 2 copies, and that was one of the last few cards. I mean, personally, it's one of the last very few cards I'm missing from Fusion Strike. You're missing a few more, but this one previously had a very, very low distribution, and I think at one point this was a $1,000 card, the Blue Shirt Judge. Again, this is reversed with the Professor Program logo on it. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be pictures on the screen. I don't know if this is going to go in audio format also somewhere, but future-proofing.
Sure.
But now obviously the price has tanked. I've seen a few of these sealed packs sell for $250-ish, so each individual card's like $125-ish maybe now. There's a few of those promos where they were the Professor promos that were associated with sets released during the pandemic. So they would have come out at events 2020, 2021. But we didn't have any of those events. So some of those were very, very rare. The 3 in particular that I know of were this Judge, the Professor Laventon from Silver Tempest, and then I think it's Brilliant Stars, Roseanne's, I want to say Roseanne's Research, but
it's not research.
That's a card from 2008.
Backup, maybe?
That might be it. And Roseanne's backup, I mean, I guess Kamado was for a while too. Kamado was very, very rare for a while. Roseanne's backup and Kamado started getting more and more copies pumped out like about a year ago. And then this Judge and then Professor Laventon, we've started seeing coming out in much bigger numbers as well. Because previously the only way to get, I think, this Judge was you had to submit something to Professor University online and you got 1 in each language. So they never came out with the like 2-pack one. I think these probably would have been, Professor Store promos. The fact that they're sealed like that, because that's how most ones are sealed. I actually have one here. So that people have an idea of what it looks like sealed. Like this is the Professor's Researchers from Scarlet Violet. There's one of each in there. And most stuff from the Professor Research comes in, packs of 2 like that. So the fact that we're starting to see these Judges and now the Laventons as well in these sealed packs of 2, they were most likely going to be Professor Store promos. The only remaining one that's a very rare one, but I think it's going to remain rare, is the Green Shirt Judge from Scarlet Violet.
Sure.
Because that was an RPC thing where every RPC, which is Regional Professor Coordinator, right? They got like 30 or 40, and they could give them out amongst their region however they wanted. That one, I think, is going to remain rare for forever, basically. I don't see that one getting a bigger release because that one, I think that was its intended release.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would take something that's been released as this very special, you're being recognized for what you're doing in the community and then make it more easily available.
Yeah. But stuff like Laventon and the Judge, I think Laventon, I didn't know it was out there for a long time. Like it went out to a few people, and I saw multiple German copies before I ever saw an English one. I had to reach out to some people and be like, hey, did this actually come out in English, or is this like a German exclusive? But yeah, then they finally confirmed that it did. So that one I'm hoping comes down in price as well, because we're both still missing Laventon. You have that Roseanne's already, because you actually got one from actually an event you did, maybe another Professor conference. So you have that one. I still need that one, but I think that one's cheaper, and then we both have Kamado, so we're caught up at that level. So that was another collection edition we got. We both got that copy of Judge.
And I don't know if you had still needed it or if we already had them, but I did get a copy of Professor Turo's scenario from the first day.
Oh, yeah.
That I almost completely forgot about. Basically, just for attending, and as kind of a thank you for, being there for the day, you get a random promo. In this case, I got handed Professor Turo's.
Yeah.
So pretty good stuff there.
Yeah. So the Professor Turo's and the Professor Sada, both from, I think it's Paradox Rift. That's kind of the current Professor Conference promo. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of different ones, but you kind of know which one's the current one at the moment. And I don't remember if I still needed the Turo or not, because I've got some Turos and Sadas around the house. I think I might still have David's here somewhere, and they're all like safely in boxes. I just need to sort everything out. But even if we already had that one and we needed Sada, Turo I think is more expensive than Sada anyway. So if I need Sada and don't need Turo, I'll be able to trade it.
Yeah, that's so weird to me because Sada sees so much more play, but...
Yeah, it's an odd one, especially because Turo also has a regional and staff regional version too, which Sada doesn't. But people like Turo's. Turo's, I think, as well got one of the Asia promos. It was one of the like Ultra Ball promos in Asia, one of the like attendance ones.
Okay.
But Sada didn't get anything like that.
Pokemon really likes Turo,
I guess, yeah. I don't know. And then I guess other collection edition outside of Pokemon, I opened a box of Cookie Run.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I'm trying to say it your way rather than Cookie Run, because you'll be just giggling the whole way through the segment. Exactly.
Cookie Run.
Yeah, we were just at Guard Tower and they had posters up for it. I think I had seen like one or two Instagram adverts about it, but I hadn't really looked at it. Mainly, I mean, if you've been on the channel before, you'll have seen it, but if not, there's a video of me from maybe a week ago opening a box of that. Mainly the reason that we bought it is that it was about $87, including tax, for a booster box, which it was a 24-pack box, but that's really good for a TCG now. And what I found out was the booster box we got, it's called Brave Beginnings. That's set 1 and 2 combined.
Oh.
Because it's a game from starting in South Korea and has a big player base in Southeast Asia, and is, I think, printed in a few local languages there, but does exist in English there already.
Interesting.
But they do the, like, much more frequent mini-set releases. But what I've been told is they're trying to catch the US up. So this set is set 1 and 2, and I think we're pretty soon, maybe in just two months or something, going to have another set which is set 3 and 4 combined.
Okay.
Because I think they're up to set 6 or 7 now. And then once we're caught up, they may... people have said this is just speculation. They may revert back to releasing just the small sets over here.
Interesting.
Or they might just do it where they do 2 sets at once over here. But there are... I looked up, there's a lot of, like, English language, like serialized trophy card level stuff already existing. Because they do stuff in English over in Southeast Asia. And from what I can see, it's very big player base in Southeast Asia. So I guess it's just... they're trying to replicate that over here and see if they can get that going. But if they can't, it's cute cards with cookies on them. We did all right with the box as well. We got 4 super rares, 2 ultra rares, and 1 secret card, which from what I've seen seems to be about the average, but I have no idea what any of the cards are, and I just posted it in the official Discord, and I was like, I think I did all right, and people were freaking out over which secret rare we got. So apparently it's a really good one, and they were saying that even though Southeast Asia is up to like set 6 or 7, people are still using that secret rare in decks. It's like a very playable one. So
we got a good card.
So we got a good card. So maybe we'll get another box or 2. Maybe we'll get the decks. It's another game where if I don't go anywhere with it, at some point I'd like to put set 1 together and just have a binder of just set 1.
Sure, yeah.
Or I guess set 1 and 2 technically. But there's only I think it's like 7 secret rares, so you can 7 ultra rares. Sorry, so super rares and ultra rares you can finish in 5-ish boxes.
Okay.
But then there's I think 44 secret cards.
Oh.
But I think the secret cards are special versions rather than being. I think super rares, ultra rares are mechanically unique.
Okay.
And then I think secret rares are like fancy full art versions of cards.
Okay.
So if you're if you're a player, it's very easy to get what you need for decks.
So then it doesn't actually matter that the secret card that we got is still played because it has a different version played?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but, it's like there's... If you're looking at, like, Magic, the full art version of a land that is played can be hundreds of dollars, and like a same rarity one of a land that's not played can be like $10 or something.
Sure.
In games where, like, Pokemon is really the only game where which Pokemon it is determines the price way more than playability.
Sure.
Because even if you look at, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff, all of the, like, Ghost Rares and Silver Rares and the 10,000 rarity labels they have, it's the playable ones that seem to be always bringing in the most money, and basically every game is like that other than Pokemon.
Yeah, where Pokemon, if you put an Umbreon on a card or a Charizard on a card, it can be absolute hog water and still...
Yeah, I mean, most of the Umbreons and Charizards just aren't really playable. I think it was it one of the Charizard tag teams was it? I can't remember.
Reshiram and Charizard.
Reshiram Charizard. Because he had two tag teams. He had a Breaks in one as well.
And the Terra Charizard that's out now.
Okay. Is that playable?
It's not currently very playable, but it was a very good deck for a long time.
Okay.
And it probably still sees some play, but...
Yeah. That one was in Obsidian Flames, though, which is worth nothing because it was a tiny set and you could finish Obsidian Flames from a case.
Yeah, so. And the only card in it was Charizard.
Yeah, it was another one like Darkness Ablaze where it was Charizard or bust, but there was so many Charizards that it was easy to pull. It's not like Champion's Path where it was Charizard or bust, but the Charizards were very hard to get.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll complain about Champion's Path in a future video. I suppose for the final bit of collection editions, we talk about things that are not collection editions that we missed. Because we missed the Pokemon Center drop for Mega Evolutions ETBs today.
Yep, that happened.
So, I mean, hopefully we can at least get some ETBs from stores so we can get the regular versions and then just...
They have coins now.
Do we know that the coins are definitely Pokemon Center exclusive, though?
We never know anything with coins.
True. Okay.
But there's a very good chance that they will be Pokemon Center ETB exclusive coins.
I mean... The coins are not the expensive part, though. We have to just buy the coins.
That's true.
Like, people will be selling the coins. Like, that'll be fine. It's more the Pokemon Center logo promos that it sucks to have missed and to potentially have to be buying them for, like, half the price of the entire ETB if we'd managed to pre-order it. But...
Yeah. They're not... They're showing unavailable rather than out of stock, so there's a chance we'll get another drop.
Okay, potentially. I've heard of some people who were like in line for hours and got through to the payment screen and just got kicked out because, the Pokemon Center website is terrible. It's just one of the worst experiences. Another set of cards that's not going in my collection are the Sonic the Hedgehog Magic Secret Lairs.
Yeah, from what I heard, you had to be on right at noon to even have a shot.
Yeah, and I was a little bit late. At the very least with that one, it puts you in the queue, tells you how long you're in the queue, and as you're going through the queue, it kind of updates and says, like, this product sold out, this one sold out, this one sold out. So I was trying to get the, like, 100% mega drop, so all 3 secret layers in foil and all 3 in non-foil. Mm-hmm. And when that one sold out, I just jumped out the queue. Like, in hindsight, maybe I should have just got in and bought what I could, but I kind of felt like if I got to that point where I had like some of it, it would then just be either I wouldn't care about it or I'd then have to go and spend a lot more money to get the rest of it.
Yeah.
I maybe should have got through to see if like any of it was in stock and just because you could buy 2 of each item that you wanted. So maybe I should have just gone through, said like buy 2 of whatever I can get and try and trade. But
if it makes you feel any better, from what I heard, you probably wouldn't have gotten anything by the time.
Maybe just 1 or 2 of the non-foil ones or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But there's one that's always going to be way more expensive than the other 2, and that one I think it's already sold out too.
Probably.
Because one of them is mechanically unique cards of the characters, and the other 2 are like reskinned Magic cards themed around Sonic. So the reskinned ones are always going to be cheaper because if people actually want to play these in Commander or whatever,
You just
the reskin
get
ones.
the original version.
If the reskin one is too expensive, you buy the original. But these new ones, especially it worked with like the Doctor Who one as well. The one that I missed was I still need to get the like unique character one because I missed that one, and the Deadpool one was like the Deadpool card is crazy expensive compared to anything else in the Secret Lair because it's mechanically unique. If you want to play that card in Commander, you have to play Deadpool. Yeah. So I didn't get those, but maybe I will at some point. There would have been like a chase on as well because Secret Lairs usually have one extra secret bonus card, but they announced that for the Sonic ones, you were either going to get Command Tower, which was a Master Emerald Shrine, or you'd get a Lotus Petal, which was one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds.
And you would have needed all of them.
Yeah, and they come in either foil or non-foil, depending on which layer you get, I think. Mm-hmm. And from, people are speculating that it's going to be most of them get the Command Tower, and then occasionally someone will get a Chaos Emerald. So potentially these emeralds are going to be like hundreds of dollars or something.
Yeah, maybe it's for the best that we missed out.
Yeah, maybe, because I do still need to get some Doctor Who Magic stuff. Like, I need to finish that set off as well. But maybe I'll be able to trade for the Sonic stuff in future. Who knows?
Maybe.
Okay, news from the last...
Forever?
From 2008 to now. Recent news, Mega Evolutions, as we just said, the ETBs we missed out on, but a lot of that stuff got revealed this week. For people who don't know, I do news videos on this channel too, if you're on the YouTube. So it's every other week I do a news video, and then every other week in between we're going to do this podcast. All of this stuff dropped the day after I did my last news video. But one big thing we've had confirmed is that this is a full new era of cards. The Black Star promo number is resetting. So that's quite a big deal. I think the only time in English we've ever had that happen was Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
For it to reset within a generation. And that was because Heart Gold, Soul Silver again was like a big new game launched. There's no new game launching for Mega Evolution. Is there?
Yeah, ZA.
That's okay. Well, that's a spin-off one, though, right? That's a Pokemon Legends.
I mean, it's still... I believe they're still considering them part of the main series.
Okay, but Pokemon Legends Arceus got a couple of promo cards. It didn't, like, reboot an era or anything.
No, it sure didn't. But, I mean, maybe they're trying to dig more into this. Maybe this is an indication of...
Maybe, but the set's
the way
not
the
called...
card games are going to go?
The set's not called, Legends ZA, the set. It's called Mega Evolutions. So...
Yeah, but it's not... it's dealing with Mega Pokemon, which we know is going to be in ZA.
Yeah,
But maybe... What I'm saying is maybe the next games not being out yet are still going to tie into this somehow.
Potentially. I mean, I can't see a world where we, start a new generation and continue with the Mega Evolution TCG line.
Maybe.
Like, whatever the next main series thing is after Scarlet Violet, I can't see us not doing
restarting
a new block.
again.
Yeah, because even if they keep the Mega Evolution mechanic, like, I think, was it end of Black and White era and XY started Mega Evolution. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where the generations start and stop, but I'm sure there's been other things where they've continued some stuff over from previous generation, but they've always cut hard fast at a generation, except from the Watsu era, but that was the Watsu era. They did, so EX ran, even when they did, even in the EX era, they had like an Emerald set, but they didn't reset. In Japan, they reset the promo numbering with Platinum.
Okay.
But but they did a lot more promos in Japan. But over here, they still just kept the Platinum promos as Diamond and Pearl.
Platinum.
Like, I guess the sets were called, Platinum Rising Rivals, but the Black Star promo numbers stayed.
Yeah, and they were still kind of an extension of...
Yeah. Although I suppose some of it might just be that back then it was like there were 54 Diamond and Pearl promos, including the Platinum era. Yes, I know it goes up to 56, but 2 were in French only. And now we're at number, like, 200 and something already for Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, a reset couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kick up the backside for me to sort our Scarlet Violet promos out and figure out what I'm missing from Black Star promos. I've done all the variants like bind it up, but the Black Star promos, it's mainly those smooth and pixel ones is what's been like stopping me doing it, because I'm still trying to work out which of those we don't have. But
I mean, we do have a Pokemon Presents coming out. Maybe Gen 10 is further away than everyone expects.
It could be. Who knows? But at least the fact that we know Mega Evolutions is restarting the promo numbering, this means that I can get Scarlet Violet Black Star promos basically up to date and know that, okay, we've only got a handful left, because all of the promos for Black Bolt White Flare have already been announced. We know what those are. The promo for, like, the Worlds promo hasn't been announced, but the tie-in promo for Worlds has been announced. And there's only a few gaps between there, so I know I can safely get up to a certain point and just say, like, here's what I know we're missing, and then I can work out whether we're close enough that it's worth just trying to say, oh, let's finish this set, or whether we're actually missing quite a lot. I feel like most of the stuff we're missing is going to be, like, dollar cards, because...
tin promos.
Yeah, because we get most of the box sets. It's just tins that we skip, because it's $25 a tin. The promo is usually worth next to nothing, and then it's just a few random packs, which like opening boxes and stuff is always better than that. So, what do you think of Mega Evolutions? Do you like the concept behind it? Or?
I think it's gonna be annoying for actually playing.
Okay.
I like Mega Pokemon in general, though. Like, sure. I know that it's kind of just digivolving, and people tend not to like that. But I always thought it was kind of a neat gimmick. Yeah. And some of the different designs of Pokemon, like Mega Absol, is so cool.
Yeah. The rule was you end your turn when you Mega Evolve unless you have a Spirit Link, right?
Yeah, that's what it was previously. I don't know if it's... I haven't really looked at the cards to know if that's the same or if they're 3 prizers or 2 prizers.
It feels like they have to be 3, right? Like
it feels that way, but I haven't looked at it, so I'm not sure.
So you know what else has come back with the Mega Evolution set? Enhanced booster boxes.
Okay.
Because we had a set that had an enhanced booster boxes, so it came with a box start promo. And then we had a set that didn't. And then we're having a special set. And then we're having a set that does again. Which feels to me like they were saying, oh, let's see how Journey Together does before we make the decision on future sets. So they left out Destiny Rivals, so there wasn't enough time to get data. But how did the data...
You're literally printing money, Pokemon.
But who cares? Like, I don't even think that Reshiram is that valuable now, the box topper one, because, I mean, once people realize that almost all booster boxes are enhanced, the Reshiram with the logo is more common than the ones without. I don't get why... I mean, box toppers are great, but why have we got both?
Box toppers are fun.
Like, getting stuff for... I mean, now, yeah, they're just something with a set logo. They used to be cool when they were, like, unique, secret numbered cards with special artwork and stuff.
Sure.
But, like, getting David's boxes, it was harder to get a non-enhanced box. Like, I just couldn't find one in North America for love nor money until you went to an event and they paid you out in non-enhanced. It's so weird. Just make box toppers and be like, this set has a box topper. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, it'll look cool. It's the illustration with Bulbasaur. So.
Okay. In the Mega set, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Because this next set between...
It's not...
It doesn't have booster boxes.
A Mega Evolution. It's a Bulbasaur.
Well, Venusaur has a Mega Evolution.
Well, okay, Venusaur does, but it has the worst Mega Evolution.
But the Mega Evolutions themselves are going to be like SIRs rather than IRs.
Okay.
Or secrets or golds or something. So
sure.
I'm guessing they would want to make it an illustration rare. So like, the illustration of Bulbasaur doesn't look cool. So I don't know. I guess they would want to keep it that. Other big change is that at the ultra rare level,
Okay.
which is the level in between illustration rare and special illustration rare,
Sure.
the full art level, items can now be in that slot. It used to just be Pokemon and supporters, but now you can have items, so
you can get essentially just a full art item?
it still has a text on it.
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, but like, you know how they did gold items?
Yeah, so it's like
that, but not gold.
regular color.
Yeah, and then the full art, whatever.
I don't think I like that.
I mean, I think I would... If it turns out they've done that and gotten rid of full art Pokemon, I'd love it, because most full art Pokemon suck. Like, now that we have SIRs, we don't need full art Pokemon.
Sure.
We need full art supporters are great. Full art supporters are amazing. Full art Pokemon are, for the most part, disappointing.
Or different full art Pokemon, like your full art Pokemon and your art rare full art Pokemon can be different.
I mean,
I guess.
The majority of full art Pokemon are, here is a picture of the Pokemon. It's on a generic colored background, potentially with like an MS Paint effect on it. It's it's a solid color.
I feel like they're going to do to the items, though.
I think they are. I mean, we've seen some of them, and they kind of are. But I just feel like I would prefer a full art rare candy than a full art Venusaur, because the rare candy either has the full art silver version or you get a gold one, and it's the same thing, but it's in gold. The Pokemon now have SIRs and IRs with incredible artwork.
I just feel like your 8-year-olds are always going to want the Pokemon.
Yeah.
If an 8-year-old pulls a full art item card, they're not going to care.
No. But the illustration rares are still much more common than these full arts. So I just feel like, I mean, the items I think are whatever, but I just feel like supporters are great because you can do a lot of like world building in the backgrounds and stuff.
Sure.
It's another reason I hated Rainbow Rares, especially Rainbow Rare supporters. It got rid of all of that. But the items, I think it's just offering up more cool versions because you don't put that many golds in a set.
Sure.
So it's a very limited number of items will get the gold versions. I think it's potentially just giving more items their chance to shine like that and have like blinged out versions.
I guess.
I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how they look when we open them. I don't love it, but I like them more than the Pokemon.
Not excited about it.
Is where I sit. I mean, full arts, are they exciting anymore since we've had illustration rares and special illustration rares? Maybe we'll be sick of illustration rares and special illustration rares by that point because we'll have been trying to collect the black and white sets, which we're going to have 156 of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I'm trying to think of what else is happening with Mega Evolutions. Maybe nothing. That might be all we need to talk about for that. There's a ton of new box sets announced, which I did put in my video last week. As with previous years, leading up to Black Friday and Christmas, there are so many new box sets announced because previous years, Walmart's had their box, Best Buy's had their box, Amazon's had their box, and they were always just very standard. You got 2 cards from a set, you got a jumbo version, which was new, and you got 4 or 6 booster packs. And that was fine. And we don't really collect jumbos, so this was great for us, and we loved it. Now, all of the repeat cards from the sets, which are mainly EXs, have the set logo on them, which means we now have to care about them. So I don't know how you feel about this. In a vacuum, I do think it's better that they're actually doing something different because these boxes were printed with like 2 promo cards on, and people are going to get caught out by that. Like newer collectors are going to think like, oh, I'm collecting promos, and you're just not. And at least now you are, except the Amazon exclusive one. For some reason, that one still just got regular cards from sets. But it is now annoying that there's going to be like 14 to 20 more EXs we have to worry about getting. Like, we won't buy the boxes, but we have to worry about getting them from somewhere.
It's July. Why are we worried about Black Friday boxes?
You know the advent calendar comes out in like 2 weeks, right?
What?
Yeah, the advent calendar goes up for pre-order in like early August.
Why?
I don't know. It's Christmas in August. I think they get shipped in like September or something. Like it did last year.
Okay.
I made a video about it. It's Christmas in September.
Let me have Halloween first, please.
I'm sure we'll get some trick or trade packs, but those come out at Halloween, so we have to get all our Christmas stuff out of the way first, and then we get our Halloween stuff for Pokemon. And then Christmas comes around again and as a second time. We don't buy that much Christmas stuff for Pokemon, like merchandise anyway. Merchandise, it's Halloween for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had to pick.
I didn't do anything.
I say we.
I had no
I
part
don't
in
make
this.
enough money to go full in on both anymore.
Yeah, because cards cost a lot more.
And because they're pumping out so much Christmas and Halloween and graduation and life-size Pokemon.
Also, we don't have enough room in our house for all of it. Like the garage is getting full of like tote boxes of Christmas and Halloween stuff. Right. Well, that's the box set logos. You seem to have little to no opinion on that.
I don't want to think about it.
Have you seen the Prismatic Evolutions Premium Collection? The figure collection?
The figure collection, yeah. I need to remember to pre-order that.
From God Tower. And potentially Beyond the Board also. Cool. We may actually already be down at Beyond the Board for it.
I'll check.
Because I think I put us down for everything, like when they made the first announcement in like December or January. I maybe just put every product that they'd announced.
But the Espeon and Umbreon's so cute.
Yeah, and so the promos are the like full art Terra versions, because in Prismatic Evolutions there's no full art Pokemon. There's only full art supporters. And annoying to me, because the one style of full art I actually quite like is I quite like the Terras, because they were all the same and all matched across the set. And the evolutions, none of the evolutions got full art.
Full art.
A lot of the other EX stuff in the set, I think, are reprints from other sets. So some of them did in their original sets, but Espeon and Umbreon are now finally getting the Terra style. These had been released in Korea months ago.
Interesting.
They were in some box set, and I think at the time the consensus was, yeah, we now know that this is going to be our promo, because there's no way they're going to release a Korean exclusive Espeon Umbreon, make a big deal out of it, when we have an Espeon Umbreon box coming up. But we now know that is what it's going to be. It's another interesting set. It's more prismatic, that's now coming out after Black and White has started. It's...
Prismatic is so annoying because I want to have the set. I want to have all the cards, but I actively don't care about the Master Balls or the Pokeballs. Like, I just don't want them to exist.
Yeah,
And they make it so much harder to get all the things that I want in the set.
Yeah. Well, I like the Pokeball Master Balls the way Japan did it. Because when Japan was doing 151, they did Pokeball Master Balls. And what it was Pokeballs were the regular reverses. And then once per box, which 10-pack box in Japan, once per box, you upgrade to a Master Ball. That's fine. If they did that here, I mean, in fact, we have 2 reverse holos in a pack. I would be okay with if it was like 1 reverse was your regular reverse, and 1 was always a Pokeball, and then 1 in every 10 packs, that Pokeball got upgraded to a Master Ball.
Sure.
That would be fine. Sure. So yeah, they're doing this with Black and White as well. Like, the first set that had this gimmick is still releasing product, and we've already got the second set with this gimmick coming out, but I would have been okay if the Pokeballs were just standard. I mean, I really think it should have just been get rid of regular reverses, have the Pokeballs, and then the Master Ball upgrade.
Sure.
But we do, like, Pokeballs as well, for Prismatic Evolutions, the Pokeballs are technically still a chase card.
Yeah.
But there's, I think, 2 which are worth more than what a regular pack MSRP would be, which I'm counting as 450. I know a Prismatic pack is not 450, but there was like 2 that are more than that. And it was like Umbreon and Budew, because Budew is super playable and Umbreon's Umbreon. And even the Master Balls, I think there's only about 15 to 20 are worth more than what an actual pack of Prismatic costs now. So
But it's so hard to find packs of Prismatic.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, the Pokeballs are $1 each for the most part, so it's just annoying with how much stuff there is. I totally agree with you that. And the fact that, like we said, with the EX and stuff, the fact that so much stuff is reprinted, and the fact that the Evolution SIRs are so sought after, it's just one of those other, even when you hit an SIR, if it's not an Evolution, you feel bad. Like, this would be a super fun set if there were 9 SIRs. And even if they still had them at this rarity, like, we've opened a couple of 100 packs, and we've hit, I think, 5 or 6 SIRs, 3 of which are in 1 pack, so we've got a mini god pack. That's rarity level I wouldn't care about if all of them were great and it was like just a full Evolution set. But the fact that when you're opening 50 packs waiting to hit your next SIR, and it can be like a supporter that's completely unplayable, or one of the Ogapon masks that no one cares about, which don't look that, like, they don't look that different to the SIRs from the original set.
No.
So,
are they different?
Yes, they are different.
Okay. I just thought that they were the same.
I think I actually think the Ogapon masks look worse in Prismatic than the ones in the original set. That's another thing, is that so many of these cards have already got SIR versions from their original sets. And, like, I know that people like the artwork and stuff, but God, if either make an Eevee set or don't.
Right.
You know?
And, like, if you want to play the Eevee deck, which I wouldn't mind, because it's Eevees, it's fun.
It's just annoying to chase down.
Like, you can't even get the cards to play with.
I mean, the singles are readily available. I think most of the regular EXs are probably only like $5 or something, because people are hunting to chase these SIRs and stuff. Like, but I mean, I know for people who don't always have the access to the buying online or the knowledge to buy online in that purchasing network.
And, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to put together an Eevee set. I want to have extra cards sitting around on the table that I can just throw together.
Sure. All right, well, moving on from that, we'll talk about that more when it actually comes out. A few weeks ago, PSA graded a pre-release Raichu. I'm sure you know about this.
I feel like you mentioned it, but remind me.
PSA, they graded a pre-release Raichu.
You don't say.
What do you want me to say on that?
Where did said pre-release Raichu come from?
It was... They haven't said the name of the person, but it's linked to a WotC employee.
Okay.
This was, I believe... I'm trying to think how... Well, I know a lot more than is public. So this is linked to a WotC employee who left the company a little while ago, still had just all of his WotC stuff, like loads of Pokemon stuff, loads of Magic stuff, decided it was time to sell out. There are a lot of big names linked to this one who've come out publicly and said that they were involved in helping the process for PSA. So Worth Walpert, who is someone who worked at WotC, he's a big name in Magic from, I think from the late 90s to 2017.
Okay.
He worked at Wizards of the Coast. And a guy called Stu Somers, who is someone who is pretty well known in like high-end Magic stuff, for being a buyer and seller, helping people sell cards. Like, I think he's potentially helped with a lot of Heroes of the Realms and cards and stuff in the past. They've come out publicly, I think, on Reddit, both of them, and said that they were involved in helping this owner get it authenticated by PSA.
Okay.
So it's a PSA 6, which I don't think the actual grade should matter on a card like this.
No.
The big thing that's happened with it is there's so much misinformation going around about the CGC ones now.
Okay.
I hope this hasn't come from PSA themselves, but I've had a lot of people tell me that the reason PSA graded this one is that it has a lot of provenance that the CGC ones don't. You know, they're saying they can link it back to this person at Wizards, and a lot of people saying the CGC ones can't, which is a lie.
That's, yeah.
People are putting it across. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that PSA have seen the CGC ones and refused to grade them, which is not true. So the CGC 5.5 that came from Mike Boozer, PSA saw that in 2009 and refused to grade it.
Okay.
At the same time, the same person who submitted that, I don't think it was in the same submission, but around the same time, submitted a Japanese Umbreon Gold Star, the Play promo. And PSA refused to grade that also.
Sure.
Because they said they didn't have any information on it.
Sure.
Because they weren't as knowledgeable at the time. That Prerelease Raichu has never been back to PSA since. The second one, the one that graded CGC 8, which is the one David still has, Rusty is the 5.5, has never been to PSA.
Right.
PSA have never had the opportunity to grade that card. I had thought David had been seeking out and went to CGC because of like their scanning technology, but it turns out CGC like was the only person David ever spoke to. David never even considered sending these back to PSA. But I personally have seen the provenance tracker for the PSA 8. I have seen all of the signed documentation from the original owner, from WotC employees, from current Pokemon Company International employees, some of whom are both, some of whom worked at WotC and now work at TBCI, people who were in the room when I think it's public, her name's Jennifer, she brought her like binder into work. It was like a bring a binder to work day, show off your old stuff, and someone was like, oh my god, you have a Prerelease Raichu, and she didn't realize it. People who were in the room, I've seen all of the signed documentation. Like, I know it's not public, but the stuff on the PSA one isn't public. People are just taking PSA at their word, and I believe them because I know the people who are out there who've put their names behind it. But the CGC stuff, the CGC copies have that as well. The first one, the Mike Boozer one, it's all public. You can go on PokeGym. All of those forum threads are still up. You can find the sale tracker from Mike to Will to David. Like, that's all up there. I know David has a lot more, again, signed documentation from a lot more people who were involved, but this one doesn't have anything that the CGC ones didn't. So, any thoughts on that before I share a bit more of my thoughts?
I mean, knowing, kind of some background information, and when that second one, the one from
Jennifer. I think her name's Jennifer, yeah.
But when the second one came out, I was basically telling people involved that I would be hesitant to do anything with it because it's a card that you have to have that provenance behind it. And knowing that they knew ahead of time that people were going to want to know where it came from and why is it just showing up now, and and kind of knowing Dave and how he is and how it got to CGC, like, I just don't understand why people are making a big deal about PSA not.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. People, when the PSA one got graded, people were posting like, oh, it's finally confirmed that it's real. It's like, no.
It's always been real.
It was finally confirmed as being real in 2006. Mike Boozer, a person who worked at Wizards of the Coast, who was very high up in production of Pokemon, publicly came out, showed his copy, said, this is real, this is how it got made, this is why these people have it. I don't know what level of PSA fanboying you're at where you will say, that person who was involved in the creation of the cards is lying, but PSA have found out the truth. Like, I mean, obviously we know with the recent CGC stuff grading those test print cards, people do lie and people print fake cards, but the pre-release Raichu, Mike Boozer confirmed in 2006, the first... I've also seen people say, like, oh, it was just a thing they invented years later. The first documented mention of a pre-release Raichu is from 1999. So, but people refuse to talk about that because it blows out the water their thing of, this is something Mike Boozer made in 2006 to make money.
And like, I know people who have been in the program long enough that they remember seeing it in person at events. You're about to make me angrier with whatever you're about to say, aren't you?
No, I think this is I was going to say, in terms of the PSA thing, there's one very, very good thing that I think from the fact that PSA has graded this Raichu.
Okay.
So I'm not going to name names, but there are certain collectors who hate the pre-release Raichu.
Sure.
A lot of it is jealousy because they don't own a pre-release Raichu. Those said collectors in the past have had too much influence over PSA and what PSA will grade, what they will label. And
that's true.
You know, so like stuff like the base 2000, the 1999-2000 copyright date, I believe they had an influence over that of not grading it because they personally didn't care about it, or they would grade them but they wouldn't label them separately. And there was always the thing of like, oh no, people don't care about this, no one wants it. And it was like, no, these like 5 people specifically don't want it. But those people who used to have so much influence over PSA would never have let a pre-release Raichu get through no matter what provenance it had. So the fact that the PSA have graded a pre-release Raichu means that those certain collectors no longer have the influence that they used to have over PSA, which is great, I think.
Yeah.
Because they should not, like, it's obviously, PSA should be going to collectors and stuff sometimes for information, but they should not be giving them the level of power that a small group of them had.
I mean, I think that you know how I feel about PSA and grading in general, but for people watching at home, honestly, I think it's dumb. If you want to protect your cards, then fine, absolutely grade or authenticate. But I have never been a fan of the I'm going to chase down a 10 so that my card is worth more money. Like, just the fact that you can crack open a card that's been graded a 5 or a 6 and get it up to an 8 or a 9, or, you know, depending on how bad a day the grader is having, a 10.
Yeah.
Like, that speaks volumes to how just irrelevant grades are.
I think that the pre-release Raichu is a special case where the grading is helping the provenance of the card.
That's fair.
I think PSA 10 prices are wild compared to, you know, 9s and stuff, or ungraded cards.
Yeah, but. And I think if you're, you know, if you're watching this and you're going, oh, PSA has graded a pre-release Raichu, it's real. Fine. It's been real, but fine. If that's what it takes to make you believe in it, like, okay.
And if you don't want to believe, I'm sure there are some people who will sell you a $50 a month Patreon to tell you a conspiracy theory about why it's still not real.
But if you're gonna grade a card, sure. Cards like the pre-release Raichu, things that are that rare.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, go ahead. I don't think you should, you know, be grading your $1 Magikarp.
Yeah. I mean, the argument always has been that grading a card, like having a PSA or Beckett or CGC graded card, the idea is that they're putting their company name behind the fact that it's real. And so that if it turns out to not be real, you can get your money back. But in practice, I don't know if you know this about insurance companies, but they don't like paying out when they do something wrong. So they will find a way to say that maybe it is real, or especially there's always the thing of like, oh, if you buy a 10 and then actually it's really a 9, if you get it really, we pay you out the market difference between 10 and 9. And what happens is they just double down and tell you it's a 10.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously, I was chasing PSA 10 Vaporeons for a while. It's my favorite Pokemon, and just when they were so much cheaper. And I know for a fact I have 10s that are worse than some 8s I've seen, especially on my Jungle Hollow. Like, I think my first edition Jungle Hollow, I have a 10, and I've seen 8s in better condition. But it will always sell for more because it's got that label on it. The fact that it was, I think, within the last 2 weeks, a 2010 #1 trainer that was tied directly to the Japanese junior winner. She sold that ungraded. It went for $75,000. And a PSA 10 of a Pop 5 Umbreon Gold Star went for $50,000. The fact that those are so close in price when one was for winning the World Championship and one came from a booster pack. I mean, it was a hard to get booster pack, but it came from a booster pack.
I don't want to say collectors are stupid, but good God.
Yeah. That was supposed to be about the Prerelease Raichu, and just went off on grading, I think.
No, that's fine.
Tying slightly into PSA, you know what PSA have also graded in the past? They graded Post Malone's One Ring from the Lord of the Rings set.
Okay, yeah.
That certification is currently deactivated. If you go on the PSA website and search it up, the certification number is deactivated, because that's what PSA do when people make fake copies of cards and put them in fake PSA cases with real certification numbers. So if they copy certification numbers from photos online, PSA will temporarily deactivate the number so that people aren't out there buying fakes. Like if someone's listed a fake on eBay which has a real certification number, PSA will put a note on the website saying this certain number is deactivated because it's tied to fakes, to try and stop people buying the fakes. But it's very funny that they've done it for a 1/1 card that we know Post Malone owns. Because the market for a fake graded 1/1 ring is not someone who thinks they're getting the real thing. It's someone who is wanting to buy a fake. Because in their own heads, they can justify of like, oh, well, I can't afford the real one, I'll buy a fake. And that sort of tracks on the 1/1 Post Malone owned card, where it's like, okay, yeah, you will never afford the real one, or even if you can, you'll never have the opportunity to get the real one. But that then trickles down to like, oh, I can't afford this $1,000 card, I'll just buy this fake graded one. And then, oh, I don't want my fake graded one anymore, I'm going to list it and not say it's fake. And that's why PSA does what they do. But so there was a lot of discussion on Twitter, because a lot of Magic people had never seen this before. Oh. Like, it was MTG Goldfish, Saffron Olive was posting about it, going like, what does this mean? Because grading isn't hugely a thing in Magic.
Yeah, and Magic usually uses Beckett rather than PSA, right?
Yeah, I think CGC is a big one for Magic now as well.
Okay.
It used to always be Beckett, but there was so little grading because the value in Magic was always in playable cards.
Yeah.
Like, up until a few years ago, there was nothing that came close to, you know, a Lotus, like
right.
an ungraded Lotus. But now, especially with things like serialized cards and, you know, tied to properties like Final Fantasy cards, like people are grading like the Chocobos and stuff, and then just other hard to pull, because there are a lot of people collecting the Final Fantasy set who don't care about Magic in any sense, but they love Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So they're grading a lot more. So grading has been a much bigger thing in Magic, but it means that a lot of Magic players for the first time were experiencing these things like a temporarily deactivated certification number. And there was a lot of people freaking out going like, oh my God, did Post Malone spend $2 million on a fake? No, he didn't. He has the real one. Someone else has created a fake. You know, there is absolutely zero chance that Post Malone does not have, assuming he didn't sell it, I don't think he did, but there is zero chance that that copy that he bought was not the real one.
Yeah. Shout out to Post Malone.
Why?
I don't know. He's like, he did that Pokemon.
Yeah, he did that Pokemon song.
That was
he has
legit.
a 1/1 Pokemon card of himself. So.
Like, what a cool guy.
And he has a 1/1 Magic card of himself.
Of himself? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they did obviously some secret layers that were like themed around him, but they also did whichever creature it was he used as his commander most often. They made him like a special, like Post Malone reskin of that commander.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Magic made a lot of money from Post Malone with those collaborations. It worked out quite well for them.
Yeah.
We're far gone from the days of like Magic printing up like a Joseph Gordon-Levitt card to try and track him down at a movie premiere and try and get some advertising of him. I don't know if you knew that. There's like 3 cards. It's Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's maybe like Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen's writing partner. It might be the 3rd one where they just have like, there's a number of legitimate copies they've printed. They print like a sheet of each, but then like try to track them down at a movie premiere to give them to them.
That's so
they
cute.
go around. It's very funny. All right, that's probably our grading rant / PSA discussion. All right, well, we talked quite a bit today. Future podcasts, like we said, we'll have more sections. We'll do some binder updates. And if people ask questions and comments of this, or through my Patreon or whatever, Patreon is linked in the description and is as low as $1. You can pay as low as $1 for full access. It's kind of just behind the scenes stuff. I don't make exclusive videos for Patreon yet, but you can help support the channel. That's a way to do it. So other places you can leave comments, we do have the Instagram and the BlueSky, which I sign us up for. I'll be putting stuff on that soon. Instagram is marriedwithcards.pod, and the BlueSky is just Married with Cards. You can message us and stuff there, or leave questions. We'll answer questions in future videos. If people have any, you can either ask our opinion on, news items, cards that are coming out, or just about us, or anything in our collection. Anything else you want to say, Law, before we finish off?
I'm definitely here of my own volition and not against my will at all whatsoever.
Great. Well, that was a good way to end it, wasn't it? Thanks to Chase and the band More Than Never, who are allowing us to use some music of theirs. They are on hiatus at the moment as a band, but you can still check out all their music and stuff on Spotify. Check out their music videos on YouTube and stuff. All of that will be linked in the description. And maybe we'll have a Linktree. I don't know. I don't know if we have a Linktree. I know I have a Linktree. I don't know if I'm going to have a podcast Linktree. But either way, it'll all be in the description of the video or the podcast if this goes up audio.
This is a lot of admin.
It's a lot of admin. This is how podcasts are. You have to do admin at the end. All right, well, that's probably it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let us know anything else you would like to see, any other sections or stuff you think we should do in future ones. And if all goes well, we will see you again in 2 weeks. I think this one's going up on Thursday. So it'll normally be Wednesday. Hopefully, this one's got a bit delayed. Goodbye.